Hey everybody, this is Ron Elise at Rob the Movie Buff on Twitter and at Robin Elise on Letterboxd, and I'm here to review the film Air, directed by Ben Affleck and starring Matt Damon as Nike talent scout Sonny Vaccaro, Affleck as Nike CEO Phil Knight, and Jason Bateman as Nike marketing executive Rob Strauss. It surrounds Nike's pursuit of Michael Jordan 1984 as a spokesperson for their shoe brand, when he was a then rookie with the Chicago Bulls, drafted with the number 3 overall pick, going against the elites in the shoe business, Adidas and Converse. This is Affleck's 5th directorial feature following Gone Baby Gone, where he directed his brother Casey, The Town, Argo, which won Best Picture in 2013, and Live by Night. Live by Night is the one I haven't seen. The previous 3 movies I really enjoy, and one thing that I really enjoy about his movies is they use a lot of great one-take movement shots. Take something conventional like 2 people talking and walking and talking in office, or round table plan meeting, or the creating of a shoe, and make it have movement and pacing to constantly keep the flow of the story going. And Affleck does this a lot in this movie as well, and he also seamlessly brings the audience into 1984 with the production design, references to the time period, the music, and just overall aesthetic of the picture, and it's aided a lot by the cinematographer Robert Richardson, who's been the cinematographer on Quentin Tarantino's last 4 movies. And this is the first movie I've seen Ben Affleck both direct and act in which, as a performer, he takes more of a backseat and supporting role. In Argo and The Town and Live by Night, he's the lead character. And he plays Knight as someone who's incredibly Buddhist and Zen, yet he's kind of facing an identity crisis. He was able to start and build Nike out of selling shoes out of his car, and he's become, the ultimate entrepreneur, but now he's the CEO. He has to deal with board members, costs, overwhelming belief that the basketball division, helped run by Vaccaro, is kind of a waste of time and money and not worth investing beyond a certain amount. Nike only sells running shoes, and maybe it's time to ignore that division altogether, the basketball division. And he has to toe line between being a company man and trying to innovate and grow but not take chances, whereas Vaccaro is the ultimate risk taker who has his fair share of pursuits for spokespeople and sponsors for the shoe brand for Nike go awry. But he sees something special in the young Michael Jordan, and he's willing to put it all on the line to get him to represent the Nike brand. While the plot of the movie is about a corporation trying to get an athlete to sign their likeness to showcase their brand, the movie really takes on a belief that one's ability to stand out as an individual and come up with something different than the status quo is really more important. The supporting performances across the board are really fantastic. Jason Bateman as Rob Strauss. Rob Strauss really helped to reinvent sports marketing, but at first he really struggles to get on board with Vaccaro's plan. As the pair spend more time on the project together, however, his confidence in Sonny's ability to get a deal done grows, but he's quick to point out that any failure will not only result in another missed client, but plenty of jobs at Nike are in jeopardy as well. Chris Tucker plays Howard White, a VP at Nike who eventually becomes the vice president of the Jordan brand at Nike, and he brings a lot of comedic energy to the role, and he's really fun. And he really helps Sonny Vaccaro learn how to reach Michael Jordan and the family. Per Affleck, Michael Jordan requested Viola Davis be cast as his mother in the movie, and like always, Viola Davis, she does a great job. Really sells how much belief and confidence Michael Jordan's mom had in her son and what he would be able to do. Chris Messina, who was also in Affleck's movies Argo and Live by Night, he is the quintessential sports agent in his performance as MJ's representative, David Falk. His phone conversations with Vaccaro are really quite memorable. And then Marlon Wayans has a great small appearance, as does Jay Moore. But the story and picture as a whole really revolves around Matt Damon's Sonny Vaccaro, and it's another stellar performance by Matt Damon. It reminds me a lot of what he did as Carroll Shelby in Ford v Ferrari, another sports movie where his character has to balance completing a job for a corporation and its bosses. In Ford v Ferrari, it was building a race car for Ford. In Air, it was making the shoe brand for Nike. And he balances that with standing strong on his own convictions. In Ford v Ferrari, he fights for Christian Bale's Ken Miles to be the racer, despite not him being, a Ford company man. And in Air, it's pursuing Michael Jordan at all costs, even when few others believe. As much as style and movement with the camera goes on during the runtime, the best scene's arguably when the camera's kind of static and Vaccaro is able to sell his point of view to Phil Knight, Michael Jordan's mom, Strauss, and eventually MJ himself, including and especially in this one incredible monologue where he talks about the building up and tearing down of icons in, the American sports and just in general landscape, and how Nike won't be the one that abandons him when things don't go perfectly according to plan. I like this movie quite a bit, especially when it comes to, the genre of sports movies where, sometimes it can be overly cliche. That being said, Air has been compared to Jerry Maguire, and I don't know if it quite reaches that heights. It has some similarities to Ford v Ferrari, but I think Ford v Ferrari has more of an antagonistic element and a couple of higher highs. But overall, I did really dig this movie. I'd give it about 7.5 to an 8 out of 10, and about 4.5 on Letterboxd, and definitely really dug it. And it is really impressive when you see at the end of the movie how much the Air Jordan transaction influenced sports marketing and likeness, even to this day. But let me know what you think in the comments if you get a chance to see Air, and would appreciate it if you subscribe on YouTube here and also on Letterboxd and Twitter. But thank you guys for listening, and you all have a wonderful day.